Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of US Law Live, brought to you by US Law's corporate partners. We are super excited today to be joined by our guest, who is just a fantastic rock star in the transportation space. Um, for those of you who can't recognize my voice, I'm Pam Halford from Dothan, Alabama, with the Alabama firm of Carr Allison, and I am joined today with my lovely co-host, Mike Judy. Hey, Mike.
Hello, Pam. Yes, Mike Judy from the Dicer Taylor firm in beautiful Kansas City, Missouri. Happy to
What's
be with
going
you.
on? What's going on in Kansas City today?
I am working from home, so I just had to threaten my four boys within an inch of their life not to come bother me or fight while we are talking to our wonderful guest.
I cannot wait for the fight that will ensue while we are recording.
Something's coming, I'm telling you.
For sure. And today we've got Meghan Hvizdos, and anybody who can spell that, I'll buy you a drink at the bar the next time we see one another. Hey Megan, how are you?
Hey Pam. Hey Michael. Thanks for having me guys
Hello.
today. Happy Friday, Friday as I like to call it.
There you go. I'm sure you have nothing going on
Yes,
today.
right. Yay.
Not at all. I am, however, happy that it's Friday. I'm based out of Dallas, and just to tell you guys a little bit about me, I've been in the transportation industry for the last 15 years. I have had kind of a cool story as far as being in various roles, starting out with an adjuster role and just essentially working my way up to senior manager, then a director, and then now into a vice president role for the last 2 years. Huge proponent of the industry. I love everything about transportation, and I would also say that it's absolutely never a dull moment. I recently switched to a slightly different type of wheel. So I went from over the road trucks and flatbeds to a bus company. So we do fixed route, we do paratransit, and we do a lot of other sort of unique type scenarios of ways to transport, either in big cities. So we'll do normal kind of bus services. We'll do some school buses, but that's not really our niche. A bulk of our business is the paratransit, so we do get to transport a very special type of clientele, as far as the elderly, people with a lot of comorbidities and things of that nature. So very precious cargo, and as such it makes I think some of our claims and situations a little more interesting, and things maybe you haven't always thought of. Along with my love for transportation, I'm involved in a lot of various organizations outside of US Law. I have the pleasure of being a client advisor for US Law, and I'm also on the board of directors for TIDA with my fellow
Whoop, whoop.
friend here, Pam. And that's a little about
Yay,
me.
title board.
Board BFFs.
Yeah, I wish that our board meetings would be somewhere like Cabo, um, as opposed to
I'll let
where
April
last
know.
time.
Yes.
Where were we last time? It wasn't Dallas. It was outside of Dallas in some like
Oh,
little
Grapevine. We were in Grapevine. We
grapevine.
also went to San Diego. Next one is in wonderful San Antonio. I hope you guys all get a chance to go to the Alamo. It's very much not grand. And then we'll have one in New Orleans in January.
Megan, you are not our only guest today. Who else do you have with you there?
I'm so glad you asked. I know that you guys all can't see video, but I have my mom's little dog. His name is Boomer. I think he's about 3 months now, but he's a wire hair fox terrier, and he's a little terror. So we like to call him the fox terrier.
Boomer
How
doesn't seem like he has any energy.
Not at all. And also, we named him Boomer because we are very big softball fans, and we root for the Oklahoma Sooners. So Boomer Sooner.
have you ever
Just had
had
a heartbreaking run or a
We did,
heartbreaking
but
end to
it
their
would have been it
5 year
would have been
reign.
bad for everyone if we had a 5-peat year. So I think 4 in a row is good.
have you seen Jessica Dark from Pierce Couch at any of the Oklahoma games?
So unfortunately, we were not able to go together this year. Last year, I got to see her and meet actually her parents and also tailgate with her a bit
Fun.
last year. But this year, unfortunately, she went on the only day that I didn't go. So that's all
Oh,
right. She had to actually go be a mom the rest of the weekend, so I'll let it slide.
I tried to call her like 2 nights ago and she like silenced me, like rejected me. And I could tell it was like mid-ring and I got voicemail. And I
That's sweet.
texted that little heifer and said, "What are you doing, ma'am?" And she was like, "I'm sorry, my kids are being hellacious. I'm gonna have to call you tomorrow." So I understand she has to be a mom.
Did you give your standard line that nobody ignores Pam?
Well, so I have a client who is a friend. He's with Protective. His name is Ed Norris. He will be a guest coming soon to US Law Live. But he calls me the Queen. So I would have said in that instance, no one ignores the Queen, or no
There
one
you
puts
go.
baby in a corner. Either one would be
Right,
great.
right. They both work.
Meg, what you got going
Uh,
on this weekend?
yeah.
Actually, nothing. I think I'm going to be watching The Puppy, and Rigor as well, and then doing some home organization because I'm actually going to be home this weekend. So super exciting times and also working. I'm sure I'll be working.
Who's
Yeah.
Ruger?
Ruger is my almost 5 year, now fully blind Labradoodle, and he's a 80-pound sweetheart. That's who Ruger is.
I know who Ruger is because audience, Megan and I chit chat on the reg. I can't get rid of her. I try to shake her all the time. She just keeps coming back. Teasing. I can't get enough of Meg. What I would like for you to do, which is a little bit different because we're going to talk sort of a hot topic of your choosing. But before we do, you have had such a great path in the industry, generally speaking. I mean, I think in the claims industry, generally speaking, but also specifically in transportation. I was thinking about like our younger clients who are listening, or maybe our younger lawyers who move in-house or something like that. And I thought maybe you could talk a little bit about your experience and how you were able to capitalize on that upward trajectory that you've had going on the past couple of years.
Yeah, for sure. I think obviously to start out with, I mean, your network is everything and anything. That's essentially how I ended up into this role now at MV Transportation, as far as just like people knowing me, knowing my work product, having worked with me, seeing me in action. So that was very, not to say that I didn't earn this job, but that definitely was like they didn't even open it up to anyone. They met me and we got through it, and they offered me the job after I got through all the interview process. But I would just say along the way, when I was first getting into the business, I was lucky to have a mentor and a good family friend, which was Joe Papalardo, who actually worked with my mom, who's also in the same line of business as I am, and showed me the way. And he's actually to blame for me ever getting to trucks to begin with, because he, since I was living in Ohio at the time, he led me to letting me know that there was an opportunity on National Interstate. So I got my start there. And from there was, upward onward. I used him a lot and leaned on him quite a bit just because I think as you kind of are working your way up, you kind of get different types of bosses where they want to help you or don't want to help you. And if they're not going to help you, you have to help yourself. So I leaned on him a lot for that. He also introduced me to TIDA back in, I think, 2016 or 2017. And then from TIDA, I got really heavily involved in that. I think it was more so in my second year of membership, just kind of getting my feet wet, and then, getting involved in committees, meeting other attorneys and other vendors and other industry friends that I might have not known otherwise. And then just kind of continued through there. And then I've met, I've gotten involved in these different organizations like the USLAWs of the world and other ones, and continue to kind of just keep building and building and building. That network has not only allowed me to help me professionally, but it's also helped me in the line of work that I'm doing. And because I know that I always can call anyone in my network at any time of day, whatever they need is, that I'll always get. If they don't hit the ignore button like they do to you, Pam, they'll get right back to me.
I mean, that's just rude.
And it can be trusted, and I trust, I've leaned on them a lot. I probably talk to my claims friends more than I do my own mom. But I just think your network is super important. And then, really getting involved in the industry, especially if it's an industry you're going to stay in, so that you can be an advocate, and always, be able to teach and inform, especially when if you have any type of a challenging work environment or otherwise. And it helps to be engaged and be informed, in lobbying efforts and tort reform, and just you should always be up to speed too, and you can always learn something.
And so as you've moved kind of through the ranks and up the chain, I mean, I know you've had a lot of experience building your own team, building a network of lawyers, building, whether it's a TPA, folks that work under you. And kind of to Pam's point earlier, for those who are looking for the same trajectory, or for those who may be in roles that can support somebody like yourself, what do you look for in a good team member, whether it's outside counsel, a claims person, a TPA? I mean, I think you've got a lot of experience that you could help a lot of those who may need some guidance.
I think, and correct me if I can say this, but it's like the no bullshit personality. I'm a very, very, very direct, very transparent, very visible person. And so just like anybody on my team
You are
now,
not direct. You are not direct at all.
And as I hire people, and even when, today actually I've got a couple of meetings set up with some other counsel that I need to bring on in certain areas where I'm very heavy, but it's like I express it from day one, like, here are my expectations. Here's what I'm looking for. Here's what I don't want. Here's what I want. Here's what's going to happen if you do any of these examples of what I'm conveying. I just, I don't never want to be in a situation where I bring you on and we're just kind of like tagging along. It's like, if we know it's a loser at the start, let's work it up as best we can to help me mitigate best I can, and let's get it down the road and get it done. I don't ever want to be in a situation, and I kind of apply that to my team, where it's like, if you know that something is an issue or you made an error, like I had someone call me on my team yesterday where she was panicking, thinking that she did something. And I'm like, you know what? First of all, I love that you did that. Thank you for alerting me. You brought something that needed to be, I needed to alert counsel on something, and she was being proactive, and found out really wasn't even a big deal. But because of how we handled it, what I've kind of instilled in her is to, like, raise your hand, be vocal. I think that's been really helpful too. And it's funny because I was trying to think to myself, when exactly did I become as direct and very much like my mom? And I think it's just been as I've worked my way up and worked for some very, very, very challenging individuals. It just, like, it empowered me to learn even more, and to get, to try and get on even bigger cases, and just trying to expand upon, like, my knowledge base and, overall experience.
I think that I met you at an event. It was not a USLAW event, but it was post-COVID. And I think it was the first post-COVID event that we kind of all went to, Meghan. So that would have been 2021. And so I can pretty firmly say that by 2021, you were direct already.
So that would have been in Nashville. Yes, but I think it was probably toward the end of COVID, or the end of 2020, where I just finally was like, you know what, I'm not going to be this, not that I ever was not direct, but it's just filter, no filter. And now I'm just no filter. What you see is what you get.
Meghan, how do you want, like, not everybody has the same approach that you do, obviously. But, as far as, working up a claim, this is what stuck out in my head that you said, working up a claim as best we can so that you can mitigate it on your side. Do you have that communication with your counsel when they first come on your team, that, like, this is what our philosophy is here at MV, or is that something that develops as you go?
Yep, absolutely. I always have a level setting conversation, and quite frankly, like, the people that get my cases now are because they they have the same viewpoint and same proactive way of handling things. Because I think transportation, aside from a few other lines of business, are the ones that, like, it's not like wine; it doesn't get better, it gets worse. So as long as we have that in mind, and you're not just billing me just to bill me, I think we'll get along great. But I just have a very tenacity, if you will, where I'm like, you sue me, let's get it. If it's something where we're questioning the damages, let's get the plaintiff's deposition immediately, and try to get into mediation early on. I'm just because hopefully by then, since I've taken over at MV2, I have a more aggressive work up. As soon as you say that you're making an injury claim against me, I'm probably already digging into you in some capacity. So I think, that's kind of how I'm trying to transition a lot of changes that I'm making here internally based on how things were done, historically by letting a TPA, just a TPA, not having an internal team. Whereas now, I do get to have these conversations and level set everything, but now I have a whole internal team of people that I'm working with to instill the same proactiveness and just kind of expressing like, hey guys, we have all these open claims, and just treat them as there's been zero sense of urgency. So now it's urgent. It's urgent that we figure out where we've got high meds. We figure out if it's a state where we can get a billing expert to review and get reductions. If they're claiming futures and we didn't get surveillance, well, let's still get surveillance anyway, so that we can still negate any of the future component. Some interesting cases that come up by virtue of the school bus situation. And there was an old one, and we were looking at it, and it's like trying to establish, in this particular event, why this mother made these allegations against us. And me being the inquisitive person I am, I was like, well, if you were such an involved mom, you would be listed number one on this contact card for your child. And her version of why she's not listed as number one was a little bit of a swirly story. So, digging into that and able to find out, familial relationships, whether she was the primary custodial parent or not otherwise. But I just like to teach that to everyone. And that's kind of my personality too, is like, I think that's, one of the reasons I'm good at what I do is because I go the extra mile and go through get in the rabbit hole, and go, work it all the way to the end. Nothing should be, sorry for the next round of cussing, but half-ass. Nothing should be half-ass.
Yeah.
I
So I think
think
the
you've already
takeaway for
broken.
anybody, yeah.
You've broken
Go
all
ahead,
the
Pam.
rules that we have. No cursing. Don't talk about alcohol a bunch. Although I'm super impressed that like the alcohol was not, hey, when are we gonna go have espresso martinis? What have you thought about all these recipes that I've been sending you? All the things. Instead, it was claims. Trucking claims are not like a fine wine. I mean,
Yeah.
that's perfection. I didn't mean to
Well,
cut you off, Mike.
I am not even thinking
No.
about alcohol because I was still tasting some remnants from a dinner with my bosses last night. So there you go.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I
Just a
mean,
few.
I was going to say it sounds like the takeaway is if you're going to be working on claims for you is don't let them sit. I mean, get in,
Yeah.
work them up, find out the information. If it's a bad one, get rid of it. If it's one you can challenge, go after it, but just don't let them sit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I think that's you've said it perfectly.
Hey Meg, I know that you and Emily, your mom, like to travel a bunch together. What's next on the horizon for you guys?
Next is a 2-week mother-daughter trip. That's going to be in November, and we are going to Spain, Morocco, and Portugal.
Do you have a highlight of that you're most excited for?
I wish I could say yes, but candidly, actually, that's not true. I know we're having a stop in Mallorca, so that will definitely be one of the highlights. But other than that, I have not had a time to take a breath and kind of sit down and plan out some sort of an agenda. And candidly, I'm just trying to make it to my 40th birthday next month, which we're going to Antigua, so that will be lovely, I hope. And I do not intend on checking any email during that time.
Now, are you a go vacationer with activities and excursions planned, or are you a sit by the pool, beach, and just relax?
I think it just depends, but I think mostly now of late, I like to just sit down and relax. Like I don't need an agenda. I usually just like kind of jot down like things that are in the area that of like likely possibilities. And then, like if I want to do like a boat rental or something, I'll situate that. But for the most part, I think I'm just kind of very go with the flow. Like I don't want to have agendas and early wake up calls. I don't want to sleep all day, but I don't want to have things, lined like it is in the workday where it's back to back.
Are y'all getting a boat in Antigua?
Yes, and I need to work on that. See, it's on my very lengthy to-do list that keeps getting longer. Yeah.
But who's the planner, you or your mom, or is it a split
Um,
effort?
so for that, actually it's me. I think that she would try to say that, but she's planned like maybe one thing. And
We
it's
need to
probably
have
because like
Emily
I
on
was doing
next.
something. Yeah. I hope she listens to this. But it's usually me. And then like for my birthday trip, I actually paid and got a travel planner so that she could do it. So I didn't have to do people's arrangements.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And are these
Um,
places you've been before, or are these all new?
No, I haven't. I have been to a lot of places, but I have not been to these parts of Spain that we're going to. It's like 4 or 5 stops, and I don't remember all of them besides Mallorca and Seville. Haven't been to either one of those. Portugal, haven't. I've never been to Portugal. Morocco, I have been. I went to Marrakesh, but we're going to another place in Morocco, and I don't recall offhand what area that is, but it's another popular area besides Marrakesh.
one of our fellow transportation gals, Kelly Lowry with CR England, is currently in Seville for the running of the bulls.
Oh, how fun!
Oh,
I
That's
know, isn't
is
awesome.
she
that
running with the Bulls?
so cool? No,
Hope
no,
she
she's
No.
signed a waiver.
um I was talking to her the other day and I was trying to set up a call. She's going to help present during one of the sessions at the Transportation Forum in Napa. And I was trying to set a call and she was like, hard no on the end of the week this week because she was going to be in Seville. So um, I'm sure you can get a bunch of intel from her in Napa.
Very cool. I will definitely have to do that then.
Um, Speaking of Napa, are you getting excited?
I am, but still haven't we haven't planned that either. So again, maybe that's what I'll do this weekend is figure out since we're staying through the weekend, what wineries I would like to visit. The only one I can well, there's a few, but I know I for sure want to go to Camus. So
Now, do
Yes.
you have like one giant to-do list for work and then your other to-do list for all of the planning of the personal
yeah.
stuff, or is it just one giant one?
Yeah, I just like, well, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and make notes to myself on my iPhone about many things, usually like work related. And then I have post-its everywhere. So there you go. And then I have notebook that I generally carry. The problem is I keep carrying a different notebook and then I have to like kind of toggle between books, but it's fine. It's my own form of organization.
You
That's
remember
my
that
wife.
list that I sent you, Megan?
Yes. I don't think it's no longer available, but that was a funny list.
It was a funny list, Mike. I back when I was married, I
No,
made a list of all of the things that I do and the lack of things that my husband does and husband did. And I sent it to Megan to make sure I wasn't crazy. And she
is it laminated
promptly
somewhere?
informed me I was crazy.
I mean, anytime I hear people keeping their to-do lists on post-it notes, I have PTSD because my wife is a post-it note to-do list, and she's a
Oh.
lawyer as well. And I'm working from home right now, and on our joint like office desk, there are 100 post-it notes of various things
Hmm.
to do, and I don't know what I can throw away, what I can't throw away, because I want two pieces of paper on my desk type person, and so God bless you people who can track all those post-it notes.
Yeah. Well, I think it's for me, it's the ability to like write it down and then cross it off the list.
Now, because my wife does this, do you write things down that you've already done just so you can get the satisfaction of crossing it off the list?
I used to do that. I no longer do that.
She does.
Like when
Like
I
we
bought
will
new
like,
calendars or like new planners and I just wanted to jot it down
yeah,
because sometimes you're just trying to remember when you did something.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't do
No,
that
we'll
anymore.
be like in the morning, I'll see her making the list. I'm like, we've already done that. I know. I just want to
Hmm.
cross it off. I want to feel
Hmm.
productive already. I'm like, you do you, love.
God, I love her
Absolutely.
so much.
I mean, Pam, you guys are, I think you're going to soon like her more than you like me, if it hasn't happened
I was
already.
about to say, what do you mean soon, Mike?
I know. I'm trying to give
Long
myself a little
ago.
credit. Yeah.
Um, well, Megan, is there anything else that you want to share with our audience for US Law Live?
Sure. I guess I'll just add like the importance of, the relationships that you have with your attorney. And for me, that starts from square one. So, for example, when I came on to MV, I level set and had the conversations with my counsel from the context of I'm at a new company here. Let me just tell you about this company in general, whether it's, the story of how it was founded, because one thing I've seen missing is this lack of telling the story when it comes for litigation, because I think the story matters because it also paints a picture that we're not this big bad company that, plaintiffs counsels try to make us out to be, and that we really are in it for the right reasons. It's not a monetary reason, but it's to provide this really, pivotal and a very important service to the community. So I think that's important to share. I also think it's important to communicate effectively with your counsel when it comes to very, very important things to, like not only the story, but insurance disclosure information so that they're aware, so that they can, know to guide you the correct way and appropriately of, what to disclose, what not to disclose. And then who also you can, just kind of trust to have, their own source of their network and understand, who that is. Because there'll be some instances where I'll ask you, who we're using and why should we be using them? Can you tell me about them? Have you worked with them before? And then sometimes I will tell them I would like to use somebody else, and then, kind of talk through that. So I just think the overarching thing here is just to have a very communicative relationship with your counsel, and just they should be vetting you just like you vet them. And I think that's probably the biggest thing I would add here.
I love that. But on a completely different topic, but very important. When did you have your lashes done last? They look great.
Oh gosh, what is today? Today is Friday, Tuesday. I had them done
Oh,
Tuesday.
no
They look fresh.
wonder. They look,
Yeah.
yeah, very fresh. Spot on.
Weekly
Love
fill.
that.
Weekly.
Weekly?
Yeah, I sweat a lot. Okay.
Wow, good for you.
It's the gym thing that doesn't help me out. So,
Right. Well, they look fantastic.
well, thank you.
I am so thankful that you shared with us and with our audience about yourself, and also all of these, I think, really helpful tips on how to provide the best service as outside counsel and what you can do if you are looking to be a rock star like Meghan and move up in the world of claims. Mike, do you have anything?
No, I just, when you get your playbook put together on your post-it notes of how, we can follow your meteoric career trajectory, will you send it my way?
I absolutely will. I would love to.
Yeah, we'll find a way to monetize that. No, but we appreciate your time. I know you've got a lot going on, and a lot of really good wisdom and knowledge you've passed along today. So really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks everyone for listening to another episode of US Law Live. We will see you on the flip side.
Thank you for listening to US Law Live. Stay tuned for more great conversations on US Law Live. To learn more about US Law Network, visit uslaw.org. Thank you.